One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. A metal mayhem that will never die. With vengeance roaring, he paves his way. A legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful, beautiful Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Great to see everyone in the chat. Man, let's get it. All right, we got a few updates for you guys since the last time we saw you guys yesterday morning. Trump, Iran update, as well as Gaza deal and Fauci contempt. Now, those are the discussions, big title things that we're going to be discussing, but we have a lot of things in between as well that I can't list into the title because it won't fit. So let me go ahead and give you guys chronologically what we're going to be discussing this morning. First, we're going to be talking about Senate committee advances Todd Blanche for Attorney General nomination. You guys know that we were discussing yesterday that there were two senators that wanted to move forward with Todd Blanche's nomination, and it looks like it's going through. So then we have, after that, we have Representative Russell Fry on the race to replace Lindsey Graham. Now, this is over there, obviously, in South Carolina. Or North Carolina, or whatever he's on. I can't remember. I think it's South Carolina. Anyways, Netanyahu, no Israeli withdrawal from Gaza until Hamas disarms, which I think me and you and everybody else here between us totally know that that's not going to happen. So you're not going to have the Israelis that are going to withdraw, and you're also not going to get the people in Gaza that are going to Hamas to disarm themselves. It's not going to happen. Shots fired during Houston armored car robbery. This happened yesterday, by the way. It says 16 hours ago. Authorities provided an update on an armored car robbery in the Houston, Texas area. The driver of the armored car fired shots at suspects after being sprayed with bear spray, according to police. Man, bear spray is no joke, man. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I've never been sprayed with that shit, but I have definitely seen some YouTube videos of people getting fucked up by that shit. It's meant to stop a bear. If it can stop a bear, it can stop you. According to authorities, the shooting occurred near the intersection of Bel Air Boulevard and Chimney Rock Road. Officials said that several suspects were discovered at a nearby car wash attempting to clean up evidence. At least two of the suspects were struck by gunfire and treated at a nearby hospital. Damn. Then we have a dope-smoking pedophile preacher. That is literally the title of this headline. Arrested for child sex crimes in Florida. And looks like we're going to be seeing our man Judd Grady again. He's been kind of active in the news in the last couple of days, and he definitely has something that he's presenting to the world, right? Then we have, this was breaking yesterday, 11 hours ago. Officer suspect dead after Las Vegas police shooting, sheriff says. Let me go ahead and read a little bit about this. It says, we are now learning, according to local reporting, that a Las Vegas police officer was as well as a suspect have been pronounced dead after a shooting took place Tuesday afternoon this week. Wow. So that was obviously yesterday. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department say that the incident stemmed from a phone call regarding a person with a firearm inside of a business. Reports indicate that the police officer and drones were dispatched to the area after the initial call. Interesting, man. A lot of activity going on in these streets, man. Then we have Trump 10 hours ago. Literally, this came out at midnight. Trump gives an Iran update while departing Los Angeles. Now he's over there on the tarmac. So, we may even just skip skip through a little bit because I can't stand hearing, the Air Force One in the background. You hear all the high pitches of the jet and shit. Then we have Rand Paul releases Fauci contempt resolution. That's a big deal. We're going to be discussing exactly what that means. And I even have the breakdown of the research on that for you guys, where we currently stand right this second. Because people are like, oh, he's found in contempt of Congress right now. No, it's not yet. They're getting there. And then we have, this is the title. It says, we got out and ran. Kyiv area hit by fatal overnight Russian barrage. This coming out 34 minutes ago from the Associated Press. And then we have Reuters that also came out with a piece saying Russian attack kill over a dozen in Kyiv region, triggers fires as well. So we got a lot to discuss this morning, as you guys can see. We always do. Let's go ahead and do our call to actions quickly, and then we'll get right into the madness. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side, and hit that subscribe button. This is what we do Monday through Friday, and of course, we have members only on Saturday morning. It's a good time, man. Speaking of members, please consider becoming a member, starting only at $4.99 a month. Making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show. Millennium Food Time, breaking news, as well as politics, all that great shit, man. It's a great way to get hold of me one-on-one. And we have a Discord server for all of you legends where I also break news and the community comes together. Make sure you guys go in the video description down below, and that's where we post the invite link for the Discord. And last but not least, of course, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, going to be presented and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen at any time. You can donate to those, and I get 100% of the proceeds. And of course, we'll read out loud anything that comes our way, just like a normal super chat. So I've got my email up. We'll always be scanning. All right. Good morning to everybody, man. We are on track this morning. Absolutely. Let's see. We got Motobomb Virginia coming in with the first comment, by the way. And thank you for the raid from the coffee crew. We always appreciate Motobomb and the coffee crew, man. We got Vanguard Critters as well as Carney Vanguard. Yes, sir. He's letting everybody know. Double tap that screen. We got Naomi in here as well. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. We got Mr. Al Patterson. Yes, sir. Good morning. We got Rabbit of Chaos as well as Prez. Good morning to you guys. Thank you for all of you guys being here. Let's see. Yes, that's right. Absolutely hit the like. We got OG Steve Easy said, y'all can't afford that SSC. Uh-oh. We got Nono Grow as well. Good morning to you up there in Canada land. We got Virginia Chaos as well. Good morning. Let's see here. We're scrolling our way down as fast as humanly possible, man. We got Steven, which is actually Stephanie. Good morning. Haven't been in the mood. Oh, no, I see what you guys are talking about. Yeah, no, I totally understand that. We got seriously Shelby. It's been a minute, man. Great to see you. Hopefully you're doing well out there, man. I'm sure you're super active right now. Bear Spray is just seasoning in Southwest Florida. Damn, you're crazy, Beezer. Always appreciate you, by the way. We got Dutch Carp Fishing. Good afternoon. Good to see you, by the way. We got Sterling Wheel. Good morning. Always appreciate you. Yes, sir. We got KP in the building. You know that I've got the left-handed tobacco ready. We're ready to go at all times. Scrolling on down. Oh, bees are coming in hot, by the way, gifting out 5 gifted memberships. Let's fucking go. Thank you very much. It goes a long way, not only helping me, but 5 others in the Insane Wheels family, man. Thank you very much for that. Make sure you guys show up for members only if you guys just got a gifted membership. Make sure you guys show up on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Let's see here. Mike, it is Prez's B-Day. Well, happy birthday, my man. And he says the egg side. He wants a sandwich. I know that.
Man, motherfuckers talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
Well, happy birthday there, kind sir. And real quick, we got Mr. Al Patterson coming in on the Cash App, by the way. Sends in $5, says, whoop 'em out Wednesday. Yes, sir. You know we're getting down with our bad shows. Sterling got that big-ass sandwich, too. I see you. All right, let's see what we got here. Scrolling on down. We got Chasing Ghost. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. And yes, W Dutch. We got Roger in the building, Alabama's finest. Always appreciate you hanging out with us. All right, let's pretty much get into the craziness this morning. We got a lot to, cover this morning. We're going to start first. Senate committee advances Todd Blanche for Attorney General nomination. Now, we were discussing this yesterday and talking about how the two senators wanted to basically go through with this nomination, and here we are with it. And it happened yesterday, right after we basically talked about it.
We now turn to the nomination of Todd Blanche to be Attorney General. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Cornyn.
Aye.
Mr. Lee.
Aye.
Mr. Cruz.
Aye.
Mr. Holly.
Aye.
Jamie, good morning.
Mr. Kennedy. Mrs. Blackburn. Mr. Schmidt. Mrs. Britt. Mrs. Moody. Ms. Grant. Mr. Durbin.
No.
Mr. Whitehouse.
Nobody.
So only one no so far? Hold on.
Mrs. Grant. Mr. Durbin.
No.
Mr. Whitehouse.
No by proxy.
Are you serious? Prez is only 21? What? I totally thought he was older than that. That's crazy. Happy 21st birthday, bro. That's awesome. No.
Mr. Coons.
No.
Mr. Blumenthal.
No.
So that's, I think so far, 4 no's.
Mr. Rono. Mr. Booker.
No.
5,
Mr. Welch.
6, 7,
Mr. Schiff.
No.
8.
Chairman Grassley.
Aye.
On this vote, the ayes are 12, the nays are 10.
The nomination will be favorably reported. Before we adjourn, I have some letters I want to put in the record from, well, I'm not going to bother to read it. It's not worth reading at this point. The meeting's adjourned.
Okay, so now I think they're going to do the count or whatever, and then they come back. I'm sure
Has
of it.
now wrapped up the Senate Judiciary Committee voting on Todd Blanche's nomination for Attorney General, and not
Yeah, I didn't think so, Prez. I didn't think so either.
surprisingly, the committee voting right down party lines, all of the Republican committee members voting aye, all of the Democratic members voting nay. So we do see this here, and the Senate committee now advancing Todd Blanche's nomination for Attorney General. We are going to continue to follow all of this as we are continuing to hear from lawmakers. Now, earlier we did have a live look outside of the hearing in the hallway. We don't have that live look just yet, but Chuck Grassley, Senator Grassley, Chair Grassley to this committee, just sharing this right here, saying Todd Blanche to be U.S. Attorney General, favorably reported out of Judiciary Committee. So
Wow.
we are seeing
There
that
we go.
live look right there of Senator Chuck Grassley. We see Senator Klobuchar as they are now talking, but right now the Senate Judiciary Committee advancing Todd Blanche's nomination.
Hell yeah, Prez. And you know what's funny is I was gonna guess mid-40s. I swear to God, just based off of the way that you communicate in the chat.
For Attorney General. We, of course, are going to continue to follow all of the reaction as it comes in right here on Live Now from Fox.
All right, so now we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and go into Representative Russell Fry on the race to replace Lindsey Graham. Let's go ahead and bring this up. This is regards to South Carolina, of course. So let's go ahead and bring this up. Here we go.
Congressman Fry.
And we're not even going to play this whole thing because he's, of course, going to probably use a lot of this to go ahead and campaign for himself. And I really don't need to hear too much of his campaign, to be honest, but I do want to hear a bit more about him and see if Ryan over here on the left gives any good questions.
He's also one of the GOP Senate candidates to replace Senator Lindsey Graham. Congressman, great to have you on Live Now from Fox. Thanks for joining us.
Can't hear him. There we go.
So let's go ahead and get started with the first question, and probably the one you've been getting the most questions about on the campaign trail, which is the way South Carolina state law is kind of situated in this specific circumstance is that if you were to become the GOP nominee for the Republicans, then your seat would be vacated at the start of the new Congress. And because this Congress and this election coming up in the midterms is going to be so tight, there is a possibility that it really could come down to one seat. So what do you say to those who are claiming that you are putting the GOP majority at risk by potentially becoming the Senate nominee?
I think my opposition certainly wants to make that argument. There's a lot of bouncy balls of process that you have to follow for that to become.
Yeah, I've been watching all these the craziness between all of it, Steve. Absolutely, I've been keeping an eye for
reality.
sure.
But here in South Carolina, the Speaker of the House and the Senate
Morning,
President
Charlie Rose.
both understand and have indicated publicly that they want a broad array of qualified candidates to run for this seat, and that they are prepared to go back in a special session and take care of the back end so that we have people ready to go on day one. So certainly people want to make process a reason to keep me out or to keep, quite frankly, other candidates out of this race in different ways. But we're in it to win it. There's no other candidate in this race who has fought harder for the president's agenda, in passing the president's agenda, who stood with the president from the very beginning.
And really, that's really not what is needed. We don't need a yes man in there. I'm just going to be honest. That goes for everybody.
Even when it was politically unpopular to do so, some candidates in this race haven't even
What's up, Gary? Good morning, by the way. Shout out to my man.
voted for President Trump, and you know, you have candidates that have run for president against him, and so we've been with the president through thick and thin, and not just talking the talk, but walking the walk and pushing conservative America First legislation through to his desk and making sure that it becomes law.
And we'll get to
I got you, Beezer.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
some of those in just a little bit, but you did just mention this is a pretty crowded field. You have your fellow Congressman Ralph Norman running with you. You have Darlene Graham, who's in many ways the incumbent of this situation. You have Mark Sanford, the former governor and former congressman as well. What's your path to victory, or how do you see yourself getting elected to the seat with just a week left?
Well, I think we've been barnstorming the state. I mean, we're fueled by.
I wonder what his campaign funds right now, like what it looks like.
Adrenaline and Celsius energy drink. And people are really responsive right now to the message that.
What's up, Angry Casper? Good morning, by the way.
Which is, we need a new generation of conservative leadership in the United States Senate to shake up the Senate, to make sure that it's responsive to the people. A lot of things that the American people are frustrated by is that you have a Senate has 200 plus bills in the backlog waiting to be even dealt with by the United States Senate. These are things that touch on affordability.
Yeah, we all know how fucking inefficient that Congress really truly is. Let's go ahead and get into this next thing. I didn't need to hear him basically campaign for himself on there. So 20 hours ago, Netanyahu it says no Israeli withdrawal from Gaza until Hamas disarms. Well, again, that's going to be another stalemate in all of this on their side, right? So let's go and bring this up and see what's going on, because neither side's going to concede to that. Is it going? There we go. It's just lagging. No, not lagging. Just they cut out a little too much of that beginning
for being
part.
with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. Let's continue on with our top stories that we're following today. And we do have a bit of breaking news that I want to bring to you at this hour. We're going to take you out to this live vantage point that we have there of Tel Aviv in the Middle East. But right now, we do know that Benjamin Netanyahu, of course, he is the prime minister for Israel, has officially said that Israeli forces will not withdraw from their current lines in Gaza until Hamas has been completely disarmed. And so in remarks on social media, Netanyahu suggested that there were different.
And you're not even saying just disarmed in general, where, hey, like at least we get 70% of their, munitions, rifles, whatever the case is, their weapons. They're saying 100% completely disarmed
between Israel and the Trump administration over a recent deal that was announced to disarm the militant group. The agreement called for Hamas to begin disarming and for Israel to halt its strikes and begin withdrawing from Gaza. This is all a part of an October ceasefire agreement that ended major military operations, but has stalled on other fronts. Netanyahu has instead said that disarmament should come first and that Israeli forces would continue to, quote, do whatever is necessary.
Now, sometimes it gains super traction and then sometimes it doesn't. And most likely while we're live streaming here, it'll pop off, most of the time. When we start talking about Iran and we start talking about Trump and stuff like that, yeah, it's just gonna skyrocket
themselves, our territory, and our citizens. And the Trump administration goes on to say that they, quote, sent us a draft. We did not agree. It is not our draft. We sent our comments, Netanyahu said. This is our position. We stand firm on our interests and believe both wisely and resolutely. Earlier today, though, we do know the Associated Press said that Palestinians gathered for a mass funeral of more than 100 bodies finally recovered from a deadly Israeli strike in Gaza back in 2023. More than 300 people were killed on November 22nd, 2023, weeks into the war with Hamas, when warplanes flattened a residential block in Gaza's city neighborhoods. Around 40 bodies were ultimately recovered.
So, Emoy, go ahead and check out my previous live streams. Yeah, I don't need to express or do anything to prove my point to you.
Covered soon afterwards in a frantic scramble through rough tools and bare hands, but most were buried deep within the rubble. Reports of the high number of victims is one of the war's deadliest attack, and took several days to reach the public in the chaos just before the first ceasefire. And so again, that is the latest update that we wanted to bring to you here on Live Now from Fox. And Netanyahu has officially said that Israel will not be withdrawing from Gaza until Hamas is completely disarmed. I want to put this up on the screen. This is there from Tommy Pigott, representing the State Department, putting this out on social media just a short time ago, saying this, building directly on the momentum from President Trump's meeting with the president, Prime Minister Netanyahu, and the successful launch of the first pilot zones in southern Lebanon. The latest U.S. facilitated talks between Israel and Lebanon began today in Rome and will be continuing through August 6th. These discussions bring together the technical teams from both governments to advance full implications of the trilateral framework. And so we'll continue on with that comment in just a minute, but we actually have a live vantage point right now of President Trump as all of this news is breaking, getting ready to board Air Force One. We know the president is headed to California.
Yes, and we actually have Trump on that Air Force One. I think coming back from California, we have, or maybe it was him going to. I'm not sure, but we have him on Air Force One talking about Iran.
California today. And so we want to hold on to this shot for just a few moments here, just in case President Trump decides to step away from walking directly to the plane and instead come up to the media members and answer a few questions. We do know that this is a major day across the United States as there are several primary races being held in both Michigan as well as Virginia. We just spoke at the top of the hour to the University of Virginia Center for Politics, getting some insight into some of those elections that are happening there in the state. That election was initially supposed to begin back in June, but it was pushed back due to redistricting efforts across the state of Virginia. But right now you see President Trump deciding instead to board Air Force One directly.
Yep, he didn't go talk to any reporters.
I'm not going to stop to take the time to talk to any of the media members that are positioned right outside of that to answer any questions. That doesn't mean that we won't hear from
you know what I'm saying?
From the president while he is on this quite lengthy flight across the country from the Washington, D.C. area to Los Angeles. If he decides to have a gaggle there, as it's called, on the plane where he speaks to a number of...
Which he will. We have that for you guys. And hopefully it's good enough audio because most of the time Air Force One interviews are the worst, actually. All right, let's get into shots fired during Houston armored car robbery. This happened yesterday. It says authorities provided an update on an armored car robbery in Houston, Texas area. The driver of the armored car fired shots at suspects after being sprayed with bear spray, according to police. According to authorities, the shooting occurred near the intersection of Bel Air Boulevard and Chimney Rock Road. Officials said that several suspects were discovered at a nearby car wash attempting to clean the evidence. At least 2 of the suspects were struck by gunfire and treated at a nearby hospital. All right, let's go and bring this up and figure out what the fuck is going on with this shit. All right, here we go.
One big story that we are following for you out of Houston, Texas. There was an armored car robbery earlier today, and the suspects, 15 and 16 years old. We are getting the latest info from police right now. Let's listen in as they describe what happened.
Update to the robbery at 5500 Bel Air. Our officers got on the scene along with...
Real quick, what's up, Mountain Woman? Good morning, by the way. Hopefully you're doing well, and it's all good. Great to see you.
Bel Air PD, we had a real good cooperative effort. Officers were able to get a description of the vehicle that was involved in the robbery. It was a white Mercedes. They were able to track the vehicle up to the north side, located the vehicle at a car wash. There were several people trying to clean up blood inside the car, and they were all taken into custody. While that was going on, we got a call from a minor emergency clinic here in the Galleria area. A white Mercedes had pulled up there, dropped 2 juvenile males off with gunshot wounds. Those males have been transported to Texas Children's Hospital, and they are in surgery right now. We also have officers down there checking on them. So what happened here, after looking at the video, the armored car driver was going into the place, came back out. The suspects approached him, sprayed him with bear spray to try to rob him of the cash from the cash checking store behind me. That's when the armored guard...
Yeah, there is some weird just stuff going on, Steve Posey. Yeah, that's for sure. But you still caught it early. We got a lot going on. Right now, we got shots fired during a Houston armored car robbery.
Fired several shots. At least 2 suspects were struck. So right now, our robbery investigators are on scene. They're doing a follow-up. We'll be getting with the district attorney to see what kind of charges we're going to get today.
So you said that the car, after dropping off the 2 suspects at the clinic, was that at a car wash?
Yeah, so it was a car wash on the north side. Officers located it up there, and there were several people trying to clean the blood out of the car, basically tampering with evidence.
So how many people total besides?
Well, right now we've got those 2 and at least 1 to 2 up there. We're still trying to figure out who exactly is involved up there on the north side. Don't know at this point.
But the 2 that were struck are juveniles.
Correct, juvenile males. 15, 16.
Damn, 15, 16 years old. About that range. Shit.
You're saying 15 or 16?
Yeah.
You say male or female?
A male, both male.
Of course.
You said it was bear spray?
Bear spray, correct.
That happened after the guard came back out.
Yeah, so the guard goes into the store. You see that truck over there? It's idling. We believe that to be a stolen truck. It's idling kind of loud. It was unoccupied, which kind of drew his attention. So he was on alert. When he came back out, that's when the suspects approached him, used the bear spray, tried to rob him, and he fired shots at the suspects.
Wow.
When was that truck reported stolen?
Don't know that. I just know it's a stolen truck.
That green truck over
Yeah,
there?
the green one's running over.
So the suspects were in that green truck.
I don't know if they were in it or around it, but like I say, it was just kind of unusual, and that got him to be on alert when he came back out.
How's the guard? What's the armored truck?
He's a little shook up. He got sprayed with bear spray and then had to get in a shootout, just trying to do his job. So, yeah, he's a little shook up, but I think he'll be okay.
Did the suspects have any fucking fire at all?
Not to my knowledge. Like I say, they used bear spray as a weapon.
Only that, they weren't armed.
To my knowledge.
A little bit early, but do we know of any charges at this point?
Like I say, we'll be consulting with the district attorney, just based on what we want. Just based upon what we know right now, of course, aggravated robbery for the robbery here, and then possibly tampering with evidence on the people up there with the car.
How many suspects are in custody?
Like I say, the two for sure, and there's 3 to 4 people up there with the car. As far as who get charged and who we keep, I don't know at this point. We're trying to work all that through.
So, clarify.
It's almost over, by the way. So he actually consolidated this very well.
What you're saying is about those two suspects on that dock.
Correct.
And drove up.
Correct.
So those 3 people that did the driver and those 2 suspects.
At least.
They were the 3 that were here on scene.
That's what we believe right now.
They tried to harm the guard with using bear spray. The guard shot at them, or at least a few of them.
Yeah.
And they drove away.
Hey, listen, bear spray is serious.
2 people were dropped off at the hospital with
Urgent care.
Urgent care, gunshot wounds, and then the other 3 or 4 people that went to the car wash tried to get rid of
Clean up the evidence, correct.
Any idea, like, the severity of the gunshot wounds? They're already at Texas Children's?
They're both in surgery right now. Right now, we believe they're both going to survive. Of course, they're in surgery, so we don't know for sure.
Wow. So they're both in surgery. They're supposed to make it through. It's looking like it, but they're in the middle of surgery. Both of them, both the kids. All right. We got something coming out from Judd Grady over there in Florida. Dope smoking pedophile preacher is the actual title of this, arrested for child sex crimes in Florida. Let's go ahead and bring this up and figure out. We got a lot of people fucking up over here. You know what I mean? Like, geez.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck ups when you have tomorrow's fuck ups to look forward to? You are a fuck up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
We shall always embrace the process. All right, let's go ahead and bring it up and figure out what the fuck is going on here.
Next up, I want to take you out to Polk County, Florida. That is where the sheriff, Grady Judd, giving an update on what he is calling a Florida dope-smoking pastor accused of sexually abusing a teen and exposing him to HIV. Let's listen in.
United American Free Will Baptist Church. And you can see that the preacher is Timothy Cheneyfield. He's 42 years of age. Well, let me show you his picture. This is the preacher. And you go, okay.
Damn.
He's also a child pedophile, a predator. In addition to being a preacher at this church, he's also a chaplain for Compassionate Care Hospice. And if that's not enough, between 2012 and about 2024, he worked for the school system in Polk County. Between 2012 and 2016, he was both a para and a substitute teacher. Then he went into IT, and he worked there until about 2024.
What's up, brother? So loud. Shout out to my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your Whip 'em Out Wednesday. I definitely know that we are.
And about that time is when he became the lead pastor for St. James. So why do I tell you all of that? Well, because when he was at the schools, he was at Crystal Lake Middle School. We know that he stalks children. How we got into this investigation was simply this. We received a cyber tip from Instagram that there was illicit, inappropriate activity between an adult and a child. It first went to the Auburndale Police Department. They determined this was in the unincorporated area and immediately called us, and immediately we started our investigation. And what we found is that...
What's up, Stacks? Good morning, by the way.
Timothy Cheneyfield went online with a dating app in search of children. And that's what he found, was a 14-year-old child. Did you hear what I said?
Damn.
A little boy.
Oh, no. God. It's bad all the way around no matter what, but...
Then they moved from there over to the Instagram app where they chatted more often. And then Timothy Cheneyfield picked him up in front of his neighborhood on 3 different occasions. And on those 3 different occasions, he wasn't preaching, but he was messing around. On 3 different occasions, he drove to the 14-year-old child's neighborhood, where the 14-year-old child met him at the entrance to the neighborhood. Timothy took the 14-year-old to his home. And when he took him to his home, he engaged the child in sex. So when the investigation came to us, we started intensely looking for Timothy, and we found out during this period of time that he was in Baltimore performing, apparently, a funeral for someone through his compassionate care hospice work. He confessed. He confessed that he picked up this 14-year-old child on at least 3 different occasions, took him to Timothy's home in Eagle Lake, where he engaged this child in sex. But that wasn't it. That wasn't all. Timothy is HIV positive.
Oh my God. No fucking, oh my God.
Bruh.
Ah.
To tell this 14-year-old child that I'm HIV positive, and he had unprotected sex with a child and exposed our...
All right, where the fuck is the wood chippers at, bro? Like, serious.
14-year-old victim to HIV. We pray that our work was fast enough, because we got our victim, the 14-year-old, the HIV cocktail, that we stopped this child from being infected. But we have a 26-year-old who said that he engaged Timothy Cheneyfield in sex, and now he is HIV positive. Timothy Cheney is an SS. That's not super sport. That's super spreader. And we fear that there's other victims out there, because he was very aggressive and very adamant about having sex with apparently adults or children.
Man, this shit has changed my entire fucking mood, man.
We talked to the members, or some of the members of St. James. They were shocked. They had absolutely no idea their pastor was like that. We also found that he has been an ordained minister since about 2020, when New Mount Zion Church in Haines City ordained him. And then later St. James in Winter Haven selected him to be the pastor. Well, today he's locked up in jail. He's charged with 3 counts of lewd battery against a child. He's charged with infecting, or potentially infecting, or having sex with, unprotected sex with a child. There's a HIV statute that if you don't disclose you're HIV positive with your partner, that's another criminal charge. He's charged with traveling to meet a minor.
You be safe, Steve, by the way.
He's charged with computer-related charges. He's charged with possession of marijuana. This is a dope-smoking preacher right here in front.
Oh, come on. Who gives a shit about the weed? No one gives a shit about no weed. But, hey, listen, if you're a preacher, I mean, like, you know, it's probably not the smartest thing to be, you know, involved in a whole bunch of shit, but, like, smoking weed and shit, it's probably not a good look.
The dope-smoking pedophile preacher right before you.
But the weed ain't the reason why he did all that shit. He's a sick fuck.
And now he's locked up in the county jail where he should be. He was well respected in the community. People trusted him. They believed in him. And now, well, our plea is, if you've engaged this guy in sex, let us tell you, because he didn't. He's HIV positive. And you need to call us. But the first thing you need to do is run to an emergency room and get the HIV cocktail and pray that you're not HIV positive, because after all, he is an SS. a super spreader, and he doesn't mind that. I want that to resonate with you for a minute. He groomed a child online, drove to the child's neighborhood, picked him up, took him to his home, had sex with him, and if that's not bad enough, never disclosed to the child that he's HIV positive, so I'm going to have unprotected sex with this child and infect him as well. Jesus don't like that. And he'll have to answer for that one day to a court much higher than ours. That he hid behind the cloak. That he used the power and the persuasion of a well-recognized minister in order to groom children and apparently at least one adult. I know there's more out there, more victims we need to hear from, in order to have sex. And all the while hid from them that he himself was HIV positive. He's an evil man. An evil man. And he took advantage of the people at the church, and he took advantage of children, and he was around children up to 10 years at Crystal Lake Middle School in different jobs before he left there. So I want to hearken back to anybody that might have been in a relationship with him as a result of that. We need to talk to you because we don't want this evil man ever to be outside of prison again. Because if he is, I can assure you that pedophiles don't change their personality or their wants or their needs.
True.
So when you want to see a classic example,
there is no reform on certain things, and that's one of them.
Of someone who was well respected in the community, who was well respected at their church, who was well respected by those on their deathbed, and he ruined lives the whole time. Are there any questions?
Terrible.
Sure, having access to so many children over the course of so many years. I mean, one of your biggest fears is that there are other children out there.
I would be shocked if there weren't other children victims out there. I would be shocked if there weren't other victims out there. He was very active.
Right.
He was very engaged. In fact, we so worried about this, we actually tried to.
No, that's a complete correction. Correction in the aspect of correcting a wrong, and now he is no longer walking on this beautiful earth. You know what I mean?
Catch him while he was in Baltimore.
And I know what you mean.
Because we didn't even want him wandering the streets of Baltimore. What all is he up to there? Of course, when we were able to find that he should have been in the airport, the Baltimore Police Department gave us zero assistance. The Bartow Airport Authority gave us zero assistance, but I don't guess we should expect any more from that. The place is a train wreck anyway.
I saw that he was arrested by OPD. I assume he was arrested in CO.
We met him when he got off of the plane with OPD. The Orlando Police Department was perfect. They were spot on. They were game on.
Typical
they were
Fabian.
as outraged with him, and they did a remarkable job. The Orlando Police Department was fantastic. Our detectives in Orlando Police met him. He first went to the Orange County.
Sid, that's what I'm waiting for still, is to figure out, did he die? Like, when is he, you know what I mean? But no, of course he's not, because they're worried about the charges. He said, we want to make sure he never gets out of prison again. So that means he's in custody. So no, he's got to be alive.
Jail, and then we transferred him to the Polk County Jail, and he confessed to us. Are there any other questions?
Should we seem to have any remorse about?
No remorse. No remorse. This is what he does. This is what he does. He sexually batters children, at least a child that we know of, and we suspect more, and we know an adult, and the adult says, I'm now HIV positive.
Sure, you mentioned that Instagram reached out to Auburndale Police Department. Was that Instagram corporate, or
it's true, Gary?
For the app to get?
There's new law that requires them to report such activity. So I applaud Instagram. They did what was right. And what Instagram did by reporting this to the police immediately was it allowed us to do a complete and thorough investigation. Instagram was a principal in stopping.
Well, that was the reason why they even knew about it, was from Instagram, huh? That's crazy. So I'm sure the AI system, when it can detect if you're doing certain things like that, and I'm sure it was reported like that.
A child pedophile from sexually battering children while being HIV positive.
Are you hoping that will be a deterrent to others in the future?
If all other social media online did exactly what Instagram did, we could stop this. we could stop this. But heretofore, as we've complained for years and for decades, social media has protected pedophiles and protected criminals and protected rapists and murderers and protected child pornographers. That's what they've done. And they should all be ashamed of themselves. There's one thing we can all coalesce around. I don't care what your political decisions
ideology,
are in life. Child pedophiles are bad business.
I absolutely agree.
And if everyone would do like Instagram did, we could protect the world's children from this kind of evil person. Instagram should be applauded. OPD, Orlando Police Department, was fantastic. My detectives are the best. You put all of your normal work aside and you focus on someone like this as quick as possible.
Sheriff, any idea of, how long he might?
I think he did answer something like that where it was a history of people that he's hurt, but I don't think that it's like him being involved in a whole bunch of like previous charges or anything like that. I think this is probably the first time he ever got majorly caught like this.
I know about this diagnosis, just kind of timeline.
Have no idea. Have no idea. And the 26-year-old didn't know until we brought it to his attention.
Damn,
and the
that's fucking
14-year-old
terrible.
had no clue that he was having unprotected sex with an adult that was HIV positive. So he goes, well, I'm taking my HIV medicine. Well, duh.
Wow.
Did you tell the 14-year-old?
That's the excuse?
No, I think I mentioned it on social media. Well, we see zero evidence of that. The 14-year-old victim goes, he didn't tell me that.
Oh, my God.
He's nasty. This guy's nasty.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit!
This is terrible.
Bruh. And he's proven that.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to move on. We got a lot to still cover this morning. Man, that totally dragged out my mood on that one. All right. So this coming out yesterday late. Officer, it says suspect dead after Las Vegas police shooting, sheriff says. All right, let's figure out what's happening here. Figure out what is the deal. We got a lot of craziness this morning.
We're getting breaking news out of the Las Vegas area. This is just moments ago. We're hearing that a Las Vegas police officer and the suspect in a police shooting situation, are dead. And they were pronounced dead earlier today. These are images just moments ago. As fellow officers pay their respects. That was all we were able to capture. We do have this post from Vegas police saying an officer-involved shooting occurred on August 4th in the 4500 block of East Tropicana Avenue. The shooting left a suspect deceased at the scene. An LVMPD officer was transported to a local hospital where, despite all life-saving efforts, he passed away.
Damn, that officer also passed.
The officer had been with LVMPD since November of 2023. Additional details will be released as they become available. Our condolences go out to the officer's family. We will support them in every way we can in the days ahead. This incident highlights the dangers law enforcement officers face in the line of duty. Also, the Nevada State Police saying they extend their heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones of the fallen officer and to partners at the Metropolitan Police Department. Our thoughts are with you during this difficult time. Finally, the Clark County, Nevada account also saying a statement from Commission Chairman Michael Naft on the loss of a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police officer. The officer was shot and killed in the line of duty while responding to the call. We hold them and our entire LVMPD family close to our hearts at this incredibly painful time.
I wonder where the cop got shot.
Flags at county buildings will be lowered in his honor. That's from Michael Naft, the chair of the Clark County Commission. We just held a press conference a little bit earlier discussing the situation as well. It's short. Let's watch.
Good afternoon. I'm Kevin McMahill. I'm the sheriff of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I have a very brief statement about what happened earlier this afternoon. And at about 3:57, dispatch received a call about a person with a firearm at a business in the 4500 block of East Tropicana Avenue. Police and drones were dispatched to the area. The caller advised the person was waving a firearm and that he appeared to be intoxicated. Officers made contact with the suspect and a gun battle ensued. A 30-year-old officer with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department was then worked on heroically by the men and women of the Clark County Fire Department, other police officers, and EMS, where he was transported to the University Medical Center, where again, doctors and nurses worked feverishly to save his life. Unfortunately, our officer has passed. He was also not only a police officer, he was a Marine veteran, a person who served this country and this community, and he's been with Metro since November of 2023. The suspect in this case was also pronounced dead at the scene. As you can imagine, I have lots of grieving police officers, a grieving community. I haven't been to the scene yet. I came directly here to see our officer and his family. We will be releasing a lot more information as we move forward, but I would like to again thank the men and women of the fire department, EMS, the doctors and nurses, and the men and women of Metro for trying to save our officer's life in the course of his duties. We'll be back to you with additional information when I have it. Thank you.
Okay, so we will let you know if the...
Of course, and that's what my job is to do here, is to make sure if anything that we present, we do our best to track and follow. All right, let's go ahead and move on into Trump gives Iran update while departing Los Angeles. Now, it looks like he is right here in the very beginning. It looks like he's actually on the tarmac, which is even worse audio than in Air Force One. So we'll go ahead and see if we can get anything out of this. It's fairly short. It's only 4 minutes. So, God, I can't stand that already. Let me go ahead and see if they hone in on his voice and they take that out.
Well, I just think she was totally wrong. They did a beautiful job. There were a couple of little things, but that was not a big deal. And everybody saw the vandalism. All you have to do is look at the tape. If you look at the tape, plus we have a witness or two witnesses that saw the vandalism. So
I put the captions on too because I want to see. So he's talking about a vandalism of some sort. I want to get to the point where he's starting to talk about Iran, because that's what I want to hear.
well, they get about 10% of the vote.
On the Strait of Hormuz, Afghans reporting that you might open tomorrow.
Could happen tomorrow.
He's talking about the Strait of Hormuz. Could it open? And Trump said it could happen tomorrow. I don't know. I highly doubt that.
A lot of progress has been made. And they called me and
He said a lot of progress has been made, and they called me on.
let's talk. They want to talk. The funny thing is they never mention that. They always say, we're not talking.
Yeah, they do say that on their side. They say that we're not in communications with them right now. What the fuck are you talking about?
They want to talk. We've been talking. They want to make a deal. They do not want to be hit. This was the biggest hit since World War II, as I said. They did not, and they saw it happening. They saw all the good.
And the answer, and I think that I answered it, but if you're being on it, like you're actually asking the question, no, he's still alive. He's still alive, and he's going to be charged with this whole thing. They're just gathering more and more evidence. He already admitted to it, but he's still alive right now.
They knew exactly what was happening. And I think it'd be very smart to make a deal. We'll see what happens. They had a very good day. The negotiations were good. The stock market was up tremendously over the last 3-4 days. We set new records today in the stock market. Yesterday, today. I think it's like 78 times now during a very short period of time. So a lot of good things are happening. The trade numbers are phenomenal. You saw that. Our economic numbers are unbelievable, like never, ever before. The investment.
Well, I will tell you that right now my stocks are doing phenomenal. That is objectively true.
Country is at a number that nobody's ever even imagined. We are doing really well. I'll see you on the plane, okay?
I agree with that, Sterling, by the way. All right, so now that's it. That's when him now walking away, going into the onto Air Force One. All right, let's get into something big here. One of the things that we also put on the thumbnail this morning. Let me see where I can find it here. Here it is. And I put with Dr. Fauci, and they're looking to, somehow get Fauci in contempt of Congress. So let's go ahead and bring this up. And we also have information, because I researched a ton about this morning and got the actual facts of what's happening right this second kind of thing. And so on this exact topic, let me go ahead and bring this up. But first, actually, you know what we haven't done? We haven't even done the fucking money part. We're slacking today. We got to do that.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Actual factuals, ladies and gentlemen.
Denied.
But it's all good. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Give me 2 seconds to pop this up for everybody. Here it is.
All right, turning our attention now to a story that has been making headlines since last week. Taking a look at a social media post here, courtesy of the Washington Post. It says a committee led by Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky plans to hold a vote Thursday morning on whether Anthony Fauci was in contempt of Congress when the scientist refused to answer questions in a hearing last week, according to Paul's office and what they had announced. We showcased here at Live Now from Fox the moments when Anthony Fauci took to the stand there and really refused to answer all of those questions. He was asked questions about the response.
Yeah, he pled the fifth 111 times or some shit.
To the COVID-19 pandemic. Anthony Fauci, of course, pleading the fifth more than 100 times. But now we're looking at this contempt of Congress vote. So bringing next onto the program now is Jeremy Rosenthal. He is a legal analyst. Jeremy, always good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Carell. How are you?
You expect Democrats to get rid of property tax or any tax at all? Come on, man.
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. All right, so let's just start with the major headline that came out of that. 111 times is when Anthony Fauci pleaded the fifth during that entire hearing. I have to get your initial thoughts. Is this common? Have you ever seen someone plead the fifth that many times during?
I mean, come on. We know all that detail aspect. I'd really like to actually hear when we're talking about going forward of what is actually happening right now. What is Rand Paul doing? And I hope that's what they actually cover here. It looks like they do talk a bit here. It says, do you think Dr. Fauci should be held in contempt of Congress? And they just put up a live vote. And it looks like the first few votes, they're all saying, no, these guys are fucking gay, dude.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
With the amount of evidence that we've got too, like, give me a fucking break. Like, it's not even like the dude's innocent or some shit.
After it's pretty clear that the person's not going to do it. But when somebody's pretty determined to kind of go through and sort of say, well, here's the questions I would ask you, then it can tally up. I think Donald Trump invoked it 400 something times during a deposition in 2021. But again, it takes will both on the person on behalf of the person invoking the Fifth Amendment and the questioner, because that's a lot of questions to ask, knowing that you're just not going to get an answer, and it can be pretty frustrating, I think, for the person asking the question.
That's what was really interesting about it. You know, when he first said, I invoked my right of the Fifth Amendment, I thought, oh, well, this is over, 5 minutes. But no, it went on. Every single senator there was like, well.
Okay, we know that. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get in the topic of what Rand Paul is trying to make happen right now. That's what I care about.
Investigated based on his belief that Fauci was dishonest in previous testimony to Congress. Going off of that point, Fauci also.
Oh, now the actual live votes are coming through. Okay, so just the first couple said no, and now it's corrected itself. Now it's 87% people say yes, and 13% say no.
Received a pardon from former President Biden back in 2025, and there's a lot of questions as to how that pardon works here. How does that apply to this specific testimony?
What's up, Poser Punk? Good morning. Great to see you in the chat. By the way, it's been a minute.
What we saw last week.
Right. So it's really a two-level issue in this hearing. The first is that when you invoke the Fifth Amendment, usually you do it in a courtroom and not in front of Congress.
Right.
You're certainly allowed to invoke it in front of Congress.
And by the way, if he's found in contempt, it's not in contempt of court. It's in contempt of Congress.
Because you always have the right to you have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all, rather than to either incriminate yourself and that can be a bit of a misnomer too, and I'll get to that here in a minute. But the main problem, one of the main problems here, is there's no judge in the room. Rand Paul is a chairman, and he's not a judge. In a court of law, if you invoke the Fifth Amendment and you do so improperly, you can have a hearing, or you can do what's called an in-camera hearing, which means you just go and everybody goes to the judge's office, and the judge says, okay, what would he say? And why are you invoking the Fifth? You would talk to the lawyers about it, and then the judge can say that's not a valid Fifth Amendment argument. He will testify. I am compelling him to testify. He must answer the question, or she must answer the question. And that in that instance, you would be in contempt of court if you
if you still hold the position and still don't answer, then you're in contempt.
Refuse to do that.
And there's obvious, you can't just plead the Fifth. People think you can just plead the Fifth on pretty much everything, but it has to be where you're incriminating yourself. And there's certain, I'm not a legal scholar on these things. I just know that it's very deep on what you can and cannot actually do before you get into contempt.
There's no judge in this room. Rand Paul's not a judge, and he does not have the legal power to compel Dr. Fauci to answer, nor does he have the legal wherewithal to determine whether or not his invocation is valid or invalid. So it turns into what we saw, which is everybody's pounding the table and screaming, and including Fauci's lawyer. So that's kind
What's
of what
up,
that
Hardwire?
is. The second part of it is, and the biggest question I think here is his
Hardwire and GEG. Good morning to you guys. By the way, good morning. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
his invocation of the Fifth Amendment valid? And the answer is it certainly could be, because even though he got that pardon, which was effective the day that Joe Biden left office, or whatever day he issued the pardon going backwards, Fauci would have blanket immunity for that. However, anything...
Yes, a judge can. And that's exactly what we were just pointing out, Hardwire, is Rand Paul is not a judge. So, for instance, but yes, you're right in this aspect. And let's say if a judge, and you say, I plead the Fifth, and she goes, or he, whoever, the judge looks at you and says, well, you can't plead the Fifth. You must answer the question. And then if they still don't, now you're in contempt of court. That's how that works.
After the fact, he wouldn't be immune for. That would include perjury, right? And just because you're being honest, from Dr. Fauci's standpoint, just because you're being honest doesn't mean you can't be prosecuted for perjury. So what I think he would tell you, his lawyers would tell you, is that we still had a valid Fifth Amendment argument, because you heard Rand Paul say, we're going to come and get you for perjury anyway, right? So from that standpoint, you can certainly, I think, make a straight-faced argument that you did have the Fifth Amendment privilege, even there in Congress, even with your blanket pardon.
Based off of
Right. And so now, before we get any further with this, let me go ahead and bring this over, and we're gonna go over here. So as of this morning, Anthony Fauci has not yet been held in contempt of Congress, but is facing a planned contempt vote by the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee after invoking the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times during his testimony, coming out from the Associated Press. Here's where things stand. So the status right now, not yet held in contempt. What is happening, Senator Rand Paul, the committee chairman, is pushing a resolution to hold Fauci in contempt of Congress for refusing to answer questions related to COVID-19 response, coming from the Associated Press. The committee is scheduled to vote on that resolution today. I looked this up right before we started the live stream. As of the latest reporting, no final vote result has been announced, coming out from the Associated Press. So, of course, I'm going to be following this hard today, of course. If the committee approves the resolution, that does not automatically mean Fauci is guilty of a crime. It would begin a process that could include a committee vote, then additional procedural steps, depending on how the committee proceeds, and a third, potential referral to the Justice Department for consideration of prosecution. So that is what we're looking at with this. Anyways, we have to move on, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and get into the last couple of things that we do have here, which is some crazy stuff in the regards to Russia, Ukraine. Let's go ahead and figure out. This is coming out from Reuters. Real quick little clip. It just shows Russian attacks kill over a dozen in Kyiv region, triggers fires as well. It says right here, Russian missiles pummeled 7 cities in Kyiv overnight, killing more than a dozen people and injuring more than 20 others, and setting warehouses ablaze. Bring down the volume. Damn. So they're just showing you guys the destruction that it caused. And then I have another clip for us to go ahead and see here, coming out from the Associated Press an hour ago, right before we started the live stream. I saw it and I said, okay, well, I'm going to make sure that we have that. Hold on. He says there was an explosion. We were inside the cab. When the explosion happened, our truck caught fire and another truck nearby also caught fire. We got out of the truck. We didn't even have time to grab our documents or anything else. We only managed to take one bag of clothes, and that was it. Then we ran away from the truck because the heat was so intense. I wanted to try to get the documents, but I burned my back and here as well, like his shoulder. Oh, shit. Oh, wait, I didn't catch the very last thing he said. We just didn't have time. We got out and ran. Man, that's terrible. Brutal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps us up for the morning, man. I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. We hit it exactly on the nose on an hour. I can't thank you guys enough. Sincerely, you guys allow me to do this Monday through Friday. And then, of course, we have members only on Saturday. Now, also, by the way, we also have the Diamond Effect this evening. We're going to be talking about basically our security level. We're talking about America's under attack and the aspect of like cybersecurity, whole bunch of stuff. We're going to be discussing that tonight on the Diamond Effect, 7:15 Central Standard Time PM. It's going to be a good time. So, all right. We'll see you guys here very soon. Much love, honor, respect. God bless you guys, and we'll see you guys very soon. All right. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire.